for Kings Lynn, and on the outside, Jeremy Doncaster for Ipswich. Young Travis McGowan there. First time he hasn't scored this season was down at Eastbourne on Saturday. He'd be anxious to get back on track here tonight. Travis McGowan. Brilliant. There's the line-up as Donny Marshall walks away. Bummers the referee, Mick Waits away. Go the riders on the inside in red. That's Jason Lyons to the apex of the bend and going well. Pursued down the outside by Travis McGowan. Coming through at the inside is Chris Louis in white, and at the back, Jeremy Doncaster. A real battle in second place, but Jason Lyons was absolutely perfect PC out front.
Well, he seems to have got a good replacement here at Kings Lynn for Jason Crump. Jason Lyons, same Christian name, is riding real well here, pulling away from the field.
Well, certainly Jason Lyons looking the part here, and that's what you want when you have a guest in your team, because Jason Crump is always real perfect here, and now his replacement tonight, fellow Aussie. Oh, just as we speak, the commentator's gap, because down goes Jason Lyons, and into him goes Jeremy Doncaster, and the referee above us, Mick Bates, will he let that go? They go, oh, he's stopping this, our referee, and that race will have to be restarted. Poor Jeremy Doncaster couldn't do anything else. Jason Lyons locked up in front of him, and really, what a tragedy for the man who was going so well out front, Peter. Just the bend you spoke about giving problems.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned about. The track's real inconsistent at the moment. There are some grippy patches, but also where that wet shales has been pulled off, it is quite grippy. So you've got different... Yeah, the rider in red's excluded, which is dead right, really. Jason just lost it there on that turn. Slid straight down, totally on his own there. You can see he hit that slippery bit of track there. As we were talking about earlier, down he goes. He tried to stay with it, but Jeremy Doncaster was following there, right in his wheel tracks. He's sort of going right for him. Jeremy almost missed him, but had to run straight into the side of the bike there. And Jeremy had lost quite a bit of speed when he got there, but he still landed quite awkwardly and quite lucky to walk away.
And looking at this, Peter, where...
Well, Jason, it looks so... Start off with what happened?
Yeah, it was, a good start, and the track was quite good the couple of laps, and it felt a little bit slippery, coming out of the corners where the dirt had moved and the dirt was quite slimy, and coming into this corner...
Right, you can see it here on the monitor, so you just missed it. Actually, as you came into the corner, it looked like sort of got a lot of drive, and then the bike let go on the loose surface afterwards.
Yeah, I got a nice bit of drive coming into the corner like you want, and then it pushed me a little bit into the corner, and then the back wheels sort of came out on me.
This must worry you as well, getting hit as well.
Yeah, so I didn't know whether he was coming inside or outside, and in the long run, he's going straight through.
The old heart rate went up a little bit then.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, despite that, I mean, obviously, you'll be back out there again, but everybody points to a weakness when they see a replacement, but you started like a great dose of salts there going out.
Yeah, it was a good start, I was quite happy with that, but unfortunately I just threw 3 points away, for myself and the club, so I just have to make it up in my next rides.
But when they redress the track so late in the day, it's always going to be a little bit sort of topsy-turvy initially, isn't it? You're not quite sure how it's going to react.
Yeah, I was very cautious, while I was on the bike, and maybe a little bit too cautious. I haven't fell off like that for a long time.
You're maybe a bit tight in your arms or
yes,
so?
Maybe. Yeah, and that bit of drive going into the corner, just pushed me around a bit. So, but the track's, pretty good. It's just a little bit slimy in places.
They're out there with the tractor again. Will you make any alterations to your bike?
I don't think so. It felt pretty smooth, and felt like it was working nice. So, unfortunately, I probably took it a little bit too cautious. So.
Okay. Well, Jeremy Doncaster's having to make some adjustments to his bike, have a hitting yours, but never mind, we'll let you get back to the pits and concentrate on your job in hand.
See you later.
2 is Chris Louis, the Ipswich captain. Gate 3, Travis McGowan, the 19-year-old Australian from Mildura. And on the outside, Jeremy Doncaster, the second oldest man in the Elite League. A man who scored more points in First Division British Speedway than anyone, Jeremy Doncaster. Still
in front, he's got to do the business himself now in this one. And certainly Chris Louis will be looking to try and win this one.
Starting Marshall walks away they go. Chris Louis jets from the date. Travis McGowan lives. Doncaster goes round the outside. A chance for team riding here. And as Chris Louis looks back, he sees Jeremy Doncaster with him. And this is perfect from Ipswich point of view. Work to do for the youngster, Travis McGowan, back in third place. But Chris Louis is now joined by his colleague, Jeremy Doncaster. And there's hardly room for McGowan to go anywhere.
Yeah, Chris Louis is actually shielding Jeremy Doncaster. He's holding up the race here for for Jeremy to get there on that outside. They're doing a good job up to now, but Doncaster locks up there a little bit, and that allows McGowan to dive back up into that second place.
Well, he does, and a mistake by Jeremy Doncaster. The shepherding of Chris Louis could have worked but didn't, and now McGowan, with a lap and a half to go, is out in pursuit of Chris Louis out front. He has plenty of track to go to, but he goes wide there. Doncaster is too far back to make an impression, and now it's going to be a 4-2 if it stays in favour of the visitors from Ipswich, because down the back straight, Chris Louis is extending that lead in the white colour. The visitors' captain takes the checkered flag with some comfort, ahead of, in second place, Travis McGowan of Kings Lynn. Third, Jeremy Doncaster of Ipswich. That's a 4-2 margin in favour of the visitors from Kings Lynn. They lead 4-2 after the first heat, and from the Ipswich point of view, a near perfect result, only spoilt by Doncaster at the back. But Chris Louis, a great start for the England and Ipswich captain.
Yes, Tony, Chris Louis certainly took that second chance with both hands there. He made a good start there. We can see Chris Louis won that, 3 points for him. Jeremy Doncaster got 1 point for third. Travis McGowan 2 points for second.
Bunyan, the all-round motorcyclist, in his third spell with Ipswich. And on the outside, Tom Madsen for Kings Lynn, who was with Berwick the Dane last season. This reserves heat, remember, they are lesser riders, but the points count just the same. Pair we saw last week, Lawrence Hare and Jason Bunyan. The rain is coming down as they start away here on the inside in white. Good start there by Lawrence Hare. Going around the outside in blue is, oh, what a ride that by Tom Madsen. And now at the rear is Steve Masters. That's a surprise, because pushing for second place is Jason Bunyan round the outside and looking for a share of the points. Masters is keeping going on the inside. He's picked up third place. It's starting to rain heavily here now, but that's not affecting Tom Madsen out front.
No, that big black cloud's dropping a load of rain on us right now, but there in front, Steve Masters, he's holding on. Tom Madsen is in first place. We can see there he's pulling away, but he's really having trouble to stay on that bike. Followed up there by Lawrence Hare and Jason Bunyan.
Down the back straight goes Tom Madsen. The rain is pouring down. It's torrential here at Saddlebow Road. But look at the work of the man out front, Tom Madsen, to take this ahead of in second place in white. Lawrence Hare, as they go into the final lap, set for this great ride by Tom Madsen down the back straight. Still in second place, Lawrence Hare, but now the pressure is on from Jason Bunyan in second place. Conditions are appalling as it pours down, and there in second place, oh, a photo finish surely called for. It looked to me as if Lawrence Hare got that, but only just ahead of Jason Bunyan in yellow. Our referee, I wonder how he will give this, because it was desperately close as they came to the tapes there. The rain that poured down during that race was torrential in the extreme. I have to tell you, it's eased up considerably, but it certainly wasn't good for those riders. And certainly, let's see the finish here now as we look. The checkered flag goes down. There's the man in blue, the heat winner, no problem there. But what we're looking for is second place as they approach the tapes right now. Right along the red line there, and oh, it's still anybody's race on this, because there in white we have Lawrence Hare, and in yellow Jason Bunyan, and my eyes can't separate those. I just wonder what our referee says. He's given it to the rider in yellow, which means that Jason Bunyan just made that. And what a performance that was. It means a share of the...
What are the conditions out there for you?
They're really slick here on the track, in the middle of tracks, basically go slow in the corner and get the bikes turned before you go in the middle of turn, just get it straight out of the corners.
Good start for you though.
Cheers, Mac. Yeah, it was a really good one. I nearly did it, but I wasn't there, but I thought I would go a little bit wide. Jason was waiting me, so I thought I'd just hang on out here, I'll get there.
Yeah, it was important that you got away there, because with that torrential shower during the race,
definitely, yeah.
At least you could see where you were going. Yeah. You weren't getting any dirt coming back.
It was a lot of rain when you were racing, so you know, when you were pulling the road off, all the rain was just coming down on us. So I was thought, I'm not going to see you in the last lap.
Yeah, I was actually quite glad I was in here, not out there.
Yeah, it's a little bit bad, but I think like how the weather been all day, I think they've done a really good job to the track.
You think it's going to be okay? Do you think the
track is going to be better and better? If it stops raining, like it's going to keep raining now, it's going to be slicker and slicker. Where you go all the dirt away, it's going to be slick there.
All right. Okay.
I think that's the big question now. It's just the clouds are everywhere. We can see them. It's just how much more rain there's going to get. I mean, you know the circuit. Will it hold up? The organisers do a pretty good job here, don't they?
I don't think like what they've done now, that's what they can do. I don't think they have any more chance to save the track now, so we don't want any more rain, no.
Well, well done again. We'll let you get back to the pit.
To brighten up tonight, but we've got some real black clouds about at the moment, and I'm really looking forward to these moving away.
There's the lineup, heat 3. Shane Parker for Kings Lynn on the inside. Tony Sfarb, the Czech Republic rider for Ipswich, gate 2. Craig Boyce, the Aussie for Kings Lynn, goes from the 3rd gate, and on the outside, Matty Furjan, the Slovenian. Shane Parker is on the inside. Our starting marshal gets them into line. Remember, the visitors from Ipswich lead by 7 points to 5. Rain has stopped at least for the moment as the starting marshal pulls away. The tapes fly up and it's a flyer on the outside from Matty Furjan, but coming through in red is Craig Boyce, and the Aussie, who now knows this track like the back of his hand, is having a great season here. The Sydney sider is out front ahead of his teammate Shane Parker, and this will put Kings Lynn back in the lead if it stays like this, because back in 3rd place Tony Sfarb, and now tailed off is Matty Furjan, who started so well. For Boyce, it looks easy.
Yeah, Boyce is away from the start, there's no doubt. There in the white, Tony Sfarb really's got no answer. There's Craig Boyce having a good ride there. His teammate Shane Parker following in behind him.
Well, certainly Craig Boyce out front is looking good, and he's stretching that lead away from the man in 2nd place, Shane Parker, who's going a shade wide to take advantage of what grip there is. The struggle is on for Tony Sfarb in 3rd place, and, well, virtually given up is the remaining rider, Matty Furjan. He is really struggling, but Craig Boyce now some 150 metres ahead of the last man, and Boyce is going to take this with some comfort in the red helmet colour to lead Kings Lynn to victory. In 2nd place in blue there, his teammate and partner Shane Parker. 3rd in white is Tony Sfarb. That's a 5-1 to Kings Lynn, their first of the night, and they now lead by 10 points to 8, which is what they were looking for with 3 heats gone. A near perfect wide for Craig Boyce there. Look at the time, 64.2, relatively slow, but he now has gone over the 3,500 point mark in British Speedway. Quite an effort by Craig Boyce. Tom Madsen on the inside in blue for Kings Lynn. Gate 2, Jason Bunyan for Ipswich, the 2 reserves. The heat leaders, Lee Adams for Kings Lynn, goes from gate 3. And on the outside, Thomas Golob, of course, the fabulous Pole, the man who provides us with so much splendid entertainment in the Grand Prix series. And, of course, always a little bit of controversy. Hell the danger. Thomas Golob yet to get a maximum this season. Starting marshal moves away, and they fly. Thomas Golob from the outside cuts across in his pursuit. In yellow there is Jason Bunyan. Round the outside in red goes Lee Adams. The chase is on out front between the star Pole, Thomas Golob, and top Aussie at the moment, Lee Adams. Both Grand Prix riders, and Adams is making his play, and this is going to be 3 laps of fantastic speedway between these 2 out front.
Yeah, the circuit's quite slippery in the middle of the track there. We saw Lee Adams move to the outside on that new bit of shale out there. There's a bit of consistency out wide, but Thomas Golob saw him coming, and now Thomas has moved out to cover that line.
It looks to me as if Thomas Golob is taking exactly the line that Lee Adams wanted, and perhaps Lee Adams is getting some of that shale and lime up on his visor, because it's not easy for him. All problems at the back, and the tumble there goes Jason Bunyan in yellow. We're on to the last lap. The lights are flashing. The referee will stop this and probably award it to white, red, blue as they get into that situation, which means it'll be a split of the points at 3-all, and it'll be 13-11 in favour of the home side. So the referee confirming that that's the result. The regulations are that if the riders were on the last lap when he stops the race, he may award the race. There is Mick Bates, our referee, himself a former rider. He's now a police inspector down the road in Suffolk, and certainly, well, accidents form part of his brief, and he knows how to look at these, PC.
Yeah, just look at all that dirt there piled up against the fence with his big tyre mark in that dirt there. That is so heavy, and he really did get that wrong going into that corner. He lost it completely, and it threw him over the front, and he totally lost control.
Well, the result to points for that heat, and that's how it happened from the start. A bit of jiggery-pokery.
Yes, on the outside there, that's Thomas Golob. He makes a great start there ahead of Lee Adams. Lee's got a hand injury, which he sustained in the Polish GP last week, but that's not really slowing him down. It's the track conditions, I think, and the ability of Thomas Golob. Thomas has made a fantastic start there, and he's just riding a very, very cautious race. He isn't trying to throw the bike around. Any serious movements could cause that bike to spin round. There, Golob on the outside. He leaves Lee Adams as he heads for the first turn. He rides a very sort of wide radius around that first corner. He knows the track conditions are difficult, but just look at Lee Adams there. Lee got that excess grip on the outside. He really did look as though he was going to go by Thomas Gollard, but once Thomas knew he was coming, he basically covered that line for the rest of the race and held on for that win. But again, this is Jason Bunyan at the back now. Jason there, he seems to get filled in pretty badly, and when he comes into the pits turn there, the back end just slides away from him, grips again when it hits the dirt, he goes onto the handlebars, it flicks him off, and he went head first into the fence there. He was very fortunate again to walk away.
Well, look really tough, but you look all right at the moment.
Yeah, I'm fine. I think I was like following Lee down the straight, and I tried to keep out of his dirt and I had to go a little bit wider, and it was just, there was nothing there to hold me up. I kind of locked up, and
we can have another look at it. Let's take a look. You see it there now.
See here now, you get a real good face full of dirt. You've gone for your tear off. You've managed to get your tear off. But
yeah, I thought she was going around then, but
actually it was pretty good. Actually, you got it to come back up. But
yeah,
you've done a real good tank slapper.
Hey, hell, send that one to candid camera, eh?
But generally, you know, the track is suffered from the weather. You know, is it unraceable, or do you think it's going to be okay?
It's kind of one line at the minute. As long as the wind keeps up, it'll be all right. I don't know whether they keep ripping it up to keep drying it out.
Sure.
Obviously, the track staff know best, but they took all the shale off earlier anyway because of the weather, so there's not much there to work with. So it's kind of a slick surface all over. But
what are you guys in the pits saying? What's your plan? Obviously, you've got them at a disadvantage. Jason Crump is out, plus the conditions got to play a little bit to your advantage.
Yeah, you know, we just want to win at the end of the day. I think we'll ride in hard. Everyone's trying 100%, and if you come off, you come off, don't you?
But you're all right, though?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just going to straighten the bike out and get going again.
All right, we'll let you get back to the pits. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Meeting Jeremy Doncaster, who's actually Chris Louis' stepfather, goes from the inside in yellow. Next to him in red is Craig Boyce, already a heat winner. Chris Louis, the England captain, the British champion, goes from gate 3 on the outside. Another Aussie, Shane Parker. A little bit of work there for Chris Louis as he digs for victory, dare we say, at the start here. You see Jeremy Doncaster near his camera here in yellow. Now starting Marshall moves away. Webster takes him off and they fly, and Chris Louis takes the flyer into that first bend. Look at the performance though of Craig Boyce, who takes him wide and relegates Chris Louis going wide now into last place, and the Kings Lynn pair out front, the two Aussies, Craig Boyce in red and Shane Parker in blue are leading this one. The Ipswich pair struggling, and the Kings Lynn men on that first bend got it absolutely right.
Yeah, certainly Craig Boyce has been a revelation here this year at Kings Lynn. He's never looked back. He's going great tonight. This would be his second win if he can hang on to this race, but also Shane Parker in there again, tucked in behind him. But we've got more rain again, Tony.
Yes, it's starting to pour down, and the riders are going to have to cope with this. The times won't be fast with a lap and a half to go now. Craig Boyce, though, is making light of these dreadful conditions. Shane Parker is following in his wheel tracks, the Aussie from Adelaide. Sydney in front, Adelaide second. As we go into the last lap, Chris Louis is back in third place. Jeremy Doncaster hardly at the race. It's the length of the straight between Craig Boyce and he now. And the checkered flag is going to go to Craig Boyce in red. Ahead of him blue, his teammate and partner. That's Shane Parker. In white is Chris Louis. That's 5 points to 1. Kings Lynn take the heat and now lead by 18 points to 12 with 5 heats gone. The crowd is coping with the weather. They don't mind all the time that their team, and this man in particular, Craig Boyce, who takes the checkered flag, Grand Prix style. What a ride that was by Craig Boyce, the former Grand Prix rider from Sydney. The 32-year-old is...
Problems for you guys out there, but you've come through hard now and you've got the lead that you need.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we started off a bit of bad luck in the first heat, but got it together now, and if we can carry it on, we'll be right.
Yeah, you made a reasonable start. Actually, Chris looked like he jumped out in front of you, but your bike seemed to hook up as you got to the first corner.
Yeah, I think I spun a little bit from the drop, but Chris got it on the back wheel, you know, and I just pulled in the corner in front of him, so that's all there is to it.
It's right. Shane, you've got the lead now, and well, I don't care what the weather happens now, you're going to keep it, aren't you?
Well,
the meeting's going to stay on, isn't it?
That's the most important thing. We've had some really good meetings against Ipswich this year, and you know, obviously we want to win every one, and especially this one.
Missing Jason?
Yeah, you know, Jason, he tried to ride last night and had some bad luck. We are missing him, but I'm sure Lindsay's going to be up for the task tonight, so we'll be right.
Will it get any better? We've been talking about this.
It's hard to say because it's drizzling now, and the top's gone off the inside, so we're down to the clay, and it's very, very slippery on the inside, and only time will tell, I guess.
You've made 2 brilliant starts, really, in your first 2 rides. you know, before the meeting, you know, you've been riding a little while now. Did you do anything specific to make sure that you made starts tonight, or was it just a case of really concentrating?
Not really, you know, like Peter Johns has been doing a brilliant job on the engines this year, and I've got an engine that's really good round here, and it's nice out the start, which helps the job. So normal setup, different night.
Okay.
So
Thanks,
for you,
mate.
Shane, you had a good meet in your last meet here at home. How you riding at the moment?
Yeah, things are going well. I mean, I've picked up a little bit from how we have been going. Things have been improving, and you know, I just got to go from strength to strength, really, and keep it up.
All right, well, keep it up, the pair of you. You're a lead at the moment.
Inside the 19-year-old Aussie Travis McGowan for Kings Lynn. Thomas Golob, the superstar from Poland, goes from gate 2. Jason Lyons, the guest rider in the red helmet colours, the Bellevue rider from Mildura in Australia, goes for Kings Lynn. On the outside, it's the Ipswich reserve, Lawrence Hare. This is heat 6, remember, 18-12. He has the ability. There'll be quite a battle between he and the man in red, Jason Lyons, in this one. Away they go, and Golob gets the flyer. Lyons is right with him. Look at the two of them into that bend. Lyons picks it up. Golob is relegated back to third. He will fight back down the outside. We've got a battle on our hands here, because out front is the guest rider, Jason Lyons from Bellevue. He's now being pursued by Thomas Golob. A mistake by Golob on that first bend, and now he's got to make up for it.
Yeah, certainly Jason wasn't fazed by that first ride slide off, because he didn't give anything whatsoever there to Thomas Golob. Thomas has got a very hard man reputation, but Jason Lyons just went for it round that first turn, Tony.
Half the race to go, and Jason Lyons is out front and going very, very well indeed. Thomas Golob, we see there in second place, hardly making ground. Back in third place is Travis McGowan, the young Aussie. Lawrence Hare is struggling at the back, but with a lap to go, Jason Lyons is going to provide another heat victory, surely, for the Kings Lynn team that have already provided 3 of the 5 heat winners so far. But now, into the final bend, and there in red is the guest rider, Jason Lyons. The applause and cheers of the Kings Lynn fans, ahead of Thomas Golob in second place. In third place, it's Travis McGowan. Yet again, Thomas Golob is going to be, well, done away from a chance of a maximum. He's yet to get one this season. But Jason Lyons there, the only man to get an 18-point maximum this season, is earning his corner here for Kings Lynn amid the weather of Easter.
Hard first corner, you know. I made a good gate, and I knew it was Tony's wheel there all the way, and I did it a bit hard, and when I did actually get into the corner, it was a bit skatey again, you know, so it was quite a tight corner, but it's good to get away, you know, and try and get 4 smooth laps in without coming off again.
No, you seem to, you know, once you got past that, but it was pretty tight because Thomas Golob really made quite a good start alongside you, and as you got to the corner, you sort of pinched him off, and he was actually, were you aware that he was sort of almost going to run in the back of you?
Yeah, I seen his...
Let's take a look at it, Jason.
Here we go. Can see it now.
Here's the start, and Golob got well, he pushed hard here.
Just now, it looks like, you know, you could easily have bopped you there. Actually, I think a lesser rider might well have run into.
Cleaned us up, yeah. It was definitely a tight corner, and I seen that wheel, you know, all the way to the corner, you know, and when I actually got in, I locked up there, where I should have kept running in, but it was good that.
But you've settled down now, and you seem to let the bike run up to the dirt, and you know, not be too tense on the bike.
Take it, you know, very easy. I think, you know, anything radical, and you come off like I did in the first one. So.
Right. Okay.
That's good.
Not easy to come in the way you are, especially to the league leaders. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I love my speedway, and want to ride all the time. You know, so the more rides you get, the better you get. So it's good.
It's good to see you in good form. We'll let you get back to the pits.
Well done.
There's Tony's Farm from Ipswich on the inside. Kings Lynn's Lee Adams goes from gate 2 in red. Matty Furrier, the much-travelled Slovenian, goes from gate 3 for Ipswich. On the outside, Steve Masters, the reserve, who currently scored his first ride, 2 for Kings Lynn. That's the lineup.
Ipswich are the underdogs right now. They've got to get it together now, otherwise they're going to be out of this.
Away they go, line abreast. Left on the inside is Tony's Farm. Now picking it up well is Matty Furrier. Farm has work to do. The Kings Lynn pair in second and third places, with Lee Adams followed by Steve Masters. But quite a shock here with Matty Furrier in front of local favourite Lee Adams, who's a track expert. What a ride by the Slovenian.
Yeah, certainly this is better now for Ipswich. We can see that Matty Furyan's having a great ride in first place, and following him really going quick is Lee Adams.
But look who's moved into third place, Tony Sparb, to help Ipswich close the gap. He's jumped ahead of Steve Masters now, and out front with just under 2 laps to go, Adams is chasing Matty Furyan with a vengeance. The crowd noise is rising here because there is Adams now trying to get round the outside and pick up the speed. He'll now try the inside, but Furyan holds all the aces here as they go into the last lap with Adams tracking him. But now here comes Adams to pick it up. Adams goes round the outside. Furyan closes the gate. Adams will have to try again. Pressure on Adams now from Tony Sparb in third place, but the checkered flag comes in time for the man in yellow to take that ahead of, in second place in red, Lee Adams. Third in white is Tony Sparb. Ipswich get a 4-2 in their favour in that one, which means it's now 24 Kings Lynn, 18 to Ipswich. 6 points in it with 7 heats gone and 8 to go. But what a ride by the Slovenian champion Matty Furyan, who certainly earned his corn in that one to win.
I didn't watch on the back, and normally when I watch the back I just make the mistake. I just go like a horse, you know, just straight, and that's a good idea, you know. The track is so inconsistent, you know, slick and somewhere deep, and so difficult to ride, especially on my first hit because I was last, you know.
But that was a good comeback for you, and you know, you maintained a good line.
That's right,
and by not looking back, you didn't make any mistakes. I'm just hearing that Chris Louis is going to come back into this Heat 8. Do you feel that, you know, with your win then, and if Chris can keep the ball rolling, you can get back in this match?
We want to try hard, and we'll see what's happening, you know. It's really hard track, especially for young riders, you know, for not so much experienced riders, and I think then Louis will do this because he's an experienced rider.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to the pits, and a good effort.
For Kings Lynn Gate 2, their reserve. Chris Louis, the Ipswich captain, the tactical substitute, goes from Gate 3. And the youngster Travis McGowan with 3 points from 2 rides so far for Kings Lynn, and he goes from the outside. Travis McGowan now playing his part here. And I can tell you that this ride is his 199th since coming to Kings Lynn, and that's in only just over a year. Norfolk Arena. Starting Marshall has them ready. Referee holds the takes away they go on the inside. Jason Bunyan lives, but Chris Louis doing just what Ipswich wanted to. Pursued by Travis McGowan. Coming through on the inside is Tom Madsen. The best they can hope for at the moment for Ipswich is a share of the points, but Jason Bunyan at the back is starting to fight and starting to put Tom Madsen under pressure. But Chris Louis has it very much his own way out front and looks assured of 3 points.
Yeah, you can certainly see the adjustments there that Chris Louis was making, retarding the ignition timing is working wonders for him. Just look at the grip that he's getting on there. He really is on a real high now with that. He's riding very, very well, and that bike is doing exactly what he wanted it to do.
At the back, well, the task is almost over for Jason Bunyan, who's making no impression there on Tom Madsen. It was important for Ipswich as they go into the final lap that they got something out of this one. Well, they're going to get a heat victory by bringing out their captain, Chris Louis, there. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure, with Kelvin Tatum, because as Peter says, those adjustments to his timing have been well nigh perfect. They produced 3 points for him, ahead of in second place Travis McGowan. Third in blue is Tom Madsen. That's a split of the points at 3-all. The third time tonight that's happened, and Kings Lynn now lead by 27 points to 21 with 8 heats gone and 7 to go. The tactical substitution for Chris Louis, working with a vengeance. The number 9 on the inside, Thomas Golov, the big one. Star pole for Ipswich. Gate 2 goes to Shane Parker from Adelaide for Kings Lynn. Gate 3, Matty Furyan as a tactical substitute, the Slovenian champion. And on the outside, Craig Boyce, who was out at that very gate just 5 minutes ago this season. And it's going just the same way. Our starting Marshall moves away, big race. Golov makes it, and coming across well now in yellow there is Matty Furyan. It's 1 and 2 for Ipswich. The Kings Lynn men, Boyce and Parker behind them, are going to have to go well, and the team racing out front is now going to be mighty important as we see Thomas Golov looking back. He didn't do that last week. He's doing it now, Peter, and that's vital.
Well, he was certainly looking back, but now he's moved out to give Matty Furyan a clear track to go at, but certainly a brilliant first turn. But there, Golov, he's riding much, much better than his previous heat. There's no doubt about that.
Golov is flying out front. I wonder if he's made similar adjustments as did Chris Louis, but at the back the battle is joined. The pressure is being put on Matty Furrion. Furrion in yellow there, Golub way out front, but Furrion in yellow for Ipswich has been chased on both fronts by the Ipswich pairing. He's going to have to hold them off here. He doesn't know which to block, because round the outside goes Boyce. Through the inside comes Shane Parker. Furrion stretches it again. One big sweeping bend now for him to keep them back, because Ipswich are battling. He's going to hang on. Ipswich get a 5-1. They close the gap to 2 because Tomo Golub brings that in white ahead of Matty Furrion in yellow. Third place in blue goes to Shane Parker, and that is a 5-1 to the visitors. Exactly what they wanted. It's now Kings Lynn 28, Ipswich 26. Desperately close now with 6 heats to go. The meeting.
Yeah, that was a vital one for us. You know, that 5 points has put us right back in it, right frame of mind for this last part of the meeting.
An important team riding. You were watching it very closely. You can see that Thomas got a great start from the inside. No one's done that. But he looked behind, and there was Matty right where he needed to be.
That's right, yeah, I'm not sure he could see him, to be honest. The first lap he was looking everywhere, but Matty was possibly just in the wrong place for him to spot him. So, but then, at the end of the day, they made a good job of it.
Now tell me how Thomas did this from the inside gate. No one's done this all night.
No, that's actually
we're looking at the wrong race.
We're looking at the wrong race for some reason, but that's actually a race with Matty Furrion. Here we see it again now. Thomas has really made a super start from the inside there.
That's right, yeah, you can see him have a look as he comes off the corner. He looks at the inside, I think, first, and obviously can't see Matty there because Matty's on his other shoulder. He looks across there. He has a look there as well. He has to look twice because he didn't believe he was there. And unfortunately, Matty was a little bit in the wrong place to get it perfect, but we got the result with him.
Sometimes in these conditions, Chris, when it's wet, it's very difficult to ride side by side because you have to slow the race down too much, and that could allow the guy in third place from the opposition to actually slingshot both of you.
There's a little bit of a dirt line as well, which, to be fast, is preferable if you're both on it. So really, that means following your partner.
Sure.
But
you mentioned the dirt line. I'm looking at the track. There's a lot of dirt being pushed to the sides here, and I presume that the tractors can't actually bring that back on. So what's the actual service going to be out by the end? Let's say the 15.
He's actually doing a very good job out there with the track. He is maintaining some grip for us. Obviously, it gets a little bit tricky when we have a rain shower, but hopefully we won't have any more of those now. And I think the track's producing some quite good racing.
It'd be nice to get one over on them here, wouldn't it?
It'd be fantastic.
All right. We'll let you get back to the pits, Matty Furrion.
One for Ipswich, and he goes from the inside, the gate from which Thomas Golub took the checkered flag for the only time so far tonight. In gate 2, Travis McGowan, the 19-year-old, impressive 2 second places in the third, 5 points for the 19-year-old so far. Tony Sfarb with 2 third places to his name for Ipswich goes from gate 3, and guest rider Jason Lyons, who crashed first time out and won second time out from that outside. Our Starling Marshall moves away, 5 heats to go after this one, but Lyons keeps it down on the outside, cuts across, picks up at the apex of the bend, and he's in front. The guest rider ahead of Matty Furrion is pushing him all the way. Moving into third place, Travis McGowan. Disappointment for Tony Sfarb at the back for Ipswich. If it stays like this, it'll open a gap again of some 4 points, but Sfarb is going to battle. Some tremendous action at the back here, because down the back straight goes Jason Lyons, but at the back, real action in last place. In fact, they're all coming together at the back. Peter, what a race there.
Yeah, Travis McGowan now was almost got alongside Matty Furrion there on the finish straight, but Furrion's just managed to hold him off there, but certainly Tony Sfarb was in the thick of things as well. It's all happening right now.
Matty Furrion holding off second place, holding off Travis McGowan. McGowan is fighting, Sfarb at the back, but no problems for the man out front. Jason Lyons is sailing away on the last lap, and Jason Lyons in the red helmet colours, the guest from Bellevue, who comes from Mildura in Australia, a team that contains 5 Australians, and he's helping them with what is now his second successive heat victory. Ahead of in second place in yellow, Matty Furrion. Third in blue is Travis McGowan. That's a 4-2 in favour of Kings Lynn, who now lead by 32 points to 28 with 5 heats to go. A second heat victory for the guest rider, Jason Lyons. This could be a key battle between Heifer Ipswich, the veteran, and in gate 3 it's Steve Masters, and on the outside that's Chris Louis. Chris Louis goes for Ipswich. Will have to do a Thomas Golub technique and twice away, and each pair of fixtures count separately. 32-28, Starling Marshall. Away to go. Jetting from the overtakes on the outside is Chris Louis. He did exactly what we suggested he should, and now he leads the Kings Lynn pair of Lee Adams in red in second place. In third it's Steve Masters at the back. Jeremy Doncaster really struggling, and this, Peter, looking set for a 3-all.
Yes, it is. Lee Adams is not going his normal self tonight. Lee's normally hardly ever drops a point round Kings Lynn. He's dropping some tonight, that's for sure, but Chris Louis there from the outside, what a start, and he's just pulling away. He really is going well tonight.
Those adjustments that Chris Louis made and Kelvin Tatum talked about seem to have done him favours here, because he's getting it absolutely right. Away circuit it may be. He's celebrating his reappointment as England captain, and with just over a lap to go, the others in his wake seem to be going further and further back. Chris Louis here in the white helmet colours is going to earn his team at least a share of the points, and the excitement will continue, because ahead of in red, Lee Adams. Back in third place in blue is Steve Masters. Jeremy Doncaster is struggling in the extreme. That is a share of the points at 3 each. It's now 35 to Kings Lynn, 31 to Ipswich. But no doubt about the England captain and Grand Prix rider Chris Louis, fast and furious from the outside. He made it to the first bend, and from then on, really, well, if you look back, Jeremy Doncaster. Well, there we see from gate 1, Craig Boyce. Lawrence Hare, the Ipswich reserve, goes from gate 2. The Kings Lynn reserve, Tom Madsen, the Dane, goes from gate 3. And on the outside, the much-travelled Czech, Tony Svab. Our starting marshal, itchy feet. Craig Boyce, itchy feet for him too. He looks across at the tapes. Referee above us, Mick Bates, will release them. He holds them unduly long. Boyce is there on the inside, but look, coming across is Tony Svab. He's been talking to his captain, Chris Louis, and Thomas Golov, and Tony Svab makes the decisive move ahead of Craig Boyce here, and he's going to have to hold on there, because Lawrence Hare, his partner, is way back, but the Czech is looking good here.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Tony, the way he rides, he certainly deserves to have a win, and you know, he's been struggling a little bit at times, but he's been in the thick of things, and certainly now just persistence has brought him through. And look at his racing style. He's a very competent rider, and his father was world ice race champion in the 70s, so he's got a hell of a pedigree.
Doesn't have spikes on these machines though, but here we go. Tony Svab in front, and disappointment at the back for Lawrence Hare, but with a lap to go, this is set for a 3-all, and the 4-point margin will go into the last 3 heats. And remember, Golov and Louis will probably race in 2 of those, and that is going to be something. Ipswich at the moment riding rather like a home team, but here now to take the checkered flag in white for them is Tony Svab. In second place in red is Craig Boyce. Third, but getting slower, in blue is Tom Madsen. 3 points apiece, the heat score for the second successive heat. 38-34 the margin now that Kings Lynn lead with 3 heats to go. What a meeting we have here. And Tony Svab taking the checkered flag for his first heat victory of the night after early disappointment. I would imagine something was changed there beneath his engine. Tony's
last heat for you.
Yeah, that's right. Really, the whole meeting's been disappointing for me. I haven't been making the starts. The bike wasn't going as well as I'd like to. For the last race, you know, I have changed.
Here's the start.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. I've changed the bikes. It definitely paid off. You know, I knew that I have to win. I managed to make a great, you know, gate, and I just came across Boyce, and that was it.
Sure. Gate 4 seems to have been working quite well all night. I see Thomas and some other riders making it out of gate 4. Yeah. You were trying to tell me that the track's just a little bit grippier there. Yeah,
I think so. I think, you know, that's where everybody that's where everybody runs, and the track is packed down a bit, so there isn't much loose material, and you get a nice grip in the corner, quite inconsistent as well.
Sure. What a weekend! What a week you're having. You've raced in 4 different countries. You've had to race him in Germany. That's enough not easy thing in the first place, but a long week.
Yeah, that's right. It's not easy, especially if he's making the gates. You know, I'll get it filled in. But yeah, I mean, I've been racing from Sunday till this Sunday, every day. Been in Poland, Germany, and Sweden. But, you know, you have to do it.
It's all behind you now. The important thing is tonight. Can Ipswich win?
Well, I definitely hope so. I'll be very disappointed if not, and I would definitely feel that it's been a bit my fault as well. So let's hope we can win.
Well, from one Tony to another, Ipswich can win. Tony Millard.
5 points out of this, and that would make the scores equal at that point.
There's the lineup then. Chris Louis going for that tricky inside gate. Next to him, the guest for Kings Lynn. That, of course, is Jason Lyons, who's won his last 2 races and come back to form after falling off first time out. Thomas Golov, of course, for the visitors from Ipswich. 2 wins and a second place from his 3 rides. Heat 2, impressive. And Lee Adams goes from the outside, the Kings Lynn captain. Lee Adams, a little bit off colour tonight, but... Well, here comes the time. D-Day. Counts down. Up go the take, they fly. Louis from the inside is left. Golov will come across. base of the bend sees Jason Lyons first. Coming round the outside is Lee Adams. 1 and 2 for Kings Lynn. The fans are cheering. The rain is coming down. And amazingly at the back, Chris Louis. What has gone wrong with him? Thomas Gollob picking it up and putting a challenge on for second place. But this could spell doom, doom, doom for Ipswich in this one.
Yeah, Chris didn't make the start from gate 1, but look at the two Kings Lynn boys out here. Chris Louis there struggling at the back. Very, very difficult to come through these adverse conditions. But the Kings Lynn boys, they've got certainly clean air being thrown at them, and that's really what they need right now.
Well, looking at this, I just wonder if in the next heat we see Thomas Gollob as a golden tactical. That could really explode things. But look at what's happening here, because way out front now, there will be an 8-point margin, and Gollob could ride as a golden tactical in the last. I just wonder if Mike Smiley is thinking of that. But Kings Lynn going well out front. Jason Lyons going to take his third checkered flag in succession, ahead of his teammate Lee Adams in blue. In third place in yellow is Thomas Gollob. That is a 5 points to 1 to Kings Lynn. They now lead by 43 points to 35. And I just wonder if Heat 14 will produce the drama of a golden tactical with Thomas Gollob able to take such a ride. We'll have to wait and see.
Mason made a fantastic start off too there, and you know, off he went. I managed to get around Thomas just on that second bend and managed to keep it there, so it was great.
They might buy you a beer after this one.
I hope so. I think so. They, deserve it, I reckon.
You seem to have handled the conditions better than anyone. Lee definitely has been struggling a little bit.
He stayed on, I've fallen off, so I think he gets the award for knowing what he's doing.
But we've been mentioning that you have been looking, you've been wandering up and down, checking the track out. Kelvin was a little bit concerned about the pacing you were doing.
Yeah, I think really it affects the home riders more than anything. I was just saying to Kelvin, we get very spoiled here. We got a fantastic track most weeks, and very grippy starts. The starts are pretty slick tonight because they scraped the dirt off, and it's just caught us out a little bit, but we're in there fighting.
Sure, we saw Chris Louis early on. He actually made some changes on the ignition timing.
Yep.
Is that the sort of thing you've been doing tonight, trying to sort of calm the engine down to get some more grip?
That's it. I had a new engine which I rode in my first two, and it was just a bit too sharp, so I converted back to my other one, and as you say, just trying to calm everything down and make it very mellow for the slick conditions.
But that must have helped your team course, surely, that last 5-1. You must feel you can go on and win the match now.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, we'll probably be in Heat 15, and I think they'll probably pull a tactical here and maybe put Thomas out, and it's going to be tough, but the way Shane Parker's riding, I think, anything can happen.
Yeah. They're not going to do anything too glorious. They're not going to go for a golden. They're just going to go for a tactical, so the best they can hope for now is a draw.
That's right, yeah. It's fantastic. They always push us very hard here, so let's hope we can have the win.
Sure. Okay.
Well, it's starting to rain again. I'll let you guys get out of the rain.
While Steve Masters goes from the inside the reserve, that's for Kings Lynn. Gate 2 is Matty Furrion for Ipswich, who's looked good most of the night. Shane Parker, the Aussie, goes from gate 3 for Kings Lynn. But watch the outside. Watch Thomas Gollob. He's in gate 5. Once here now, will only be a draw for Ipswich.
That's right, would only be a draw, but certainly everything to race for. It's very difficult to come from behind in the wet.
Here they go, and a great start for the Ipswich pair. Gollob goes round the outside in yellow. Matty Furrion is with him, and this, if it stays like this, will be a 5-1 in favour of the visitors from Ipswich. And the last heat could be quite exciting as Ipswich try to earn a draw out of this local derby. Remember, Kings Lynn drew at Ipswich earlier in the season in the Elite, so they've had 145 all. There's been little between these teams in meeting so far today, or this year rather, and look at this today, BC.
Yeah, this is good team riding, because really the leader should actually ride wide so he's not throwing that wet shale over his teammate, and certainly Steve Masters having a go here, but Thomas Gollob's covering the inside, and on the outside Matty Furrion is riding a good ride, but look here, Steve Masters is having a real go.
A great effort by Masters. It's on a brand new Michael Lee. Oh! Masters takes his man out, and that was surely, I wonder how our referee will see that, because that was sad, that was unfortunate, and if it stays like this ensures a meeting victory for the home side. It was won by Thomas Gollob in yellow, but I have to say there is disappointment for Matty Furrion, and we just have to see the two Kings Lynn men finishing in second and third, which means the share of the points is now 46-38. The home side has now a short of yellow, white, red. The referee has awarded it, and that is tremendous for Ipswich. The man in blue, Steve Masters, excluded for that incident, and that is what the visitors wanted.
Yeah, certainly the right decision. You see here, Masters dives up the inside there of Matty Furrion. Now he gets it out of control here, loses it altogether. He runs very wide, takes Matty Furrion right out to the outside. You can see Masters in the blue totally at fault there, and certainly pushes Matty Furrion into that very deep stuff, which is right out wide. This is another angle of it here. Masters dives up the inside. It looks as though he's passed him, but then he loses it on the inside, and he runs wider and wider, runs straight into the side. And I think that was a fantastic decision there from the referee.
Referee Mick Bates, himself a former rider.
He went into the corner, he missed the corner, it was really wide, and he left him nowhere to go. I mean, you have a look on the video and you'll see it.
Well, you know, the track's not conducive to brilliant racing. We've all done our best tonight, and I think that's pretty unfair when the lad's had a go. He's come in there, he's done his best, he hasn't had a particularly great meeting, he's rode his heart out, and he's been dicked for it.
Well, he has run his heart out.
Hello, Ref, it's Shane Parker here. You can't declare that, because I still had a chance of passing Matty Furrion.
I've declared the race 3-2-1, Shane.
Yeah, but you can't declare it because I just still had a chance of bloody passing him, you know?
Well, in my view, Furrion was well in second place, you were behind. Steve,
we're racing for that position, mate.
I know, mate. Listen, Steve had a go. He's been excluded and you were way behind.
I was not way behind at all, mate.
Well,
you can't declare it like the 4 laps were not over. We were still racing.
No, in my opinion, Furrion was well in second place. Steve
that rule is not in the rule book, mate.
Steve left it nowhere to go, and the race is declared.
You can't do that.
Well, we've done it.
Master Bates.
Okay.
Just a matter of interest, what was it? Shane Parker far from happy. The referee read it as the
Tony Millard is saying they say you were a little bit farther behind. No, you don't agree.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, you know, there's still a lap to go in the race, and the race is never over until it finishes. Anything could have happened. I mean, I could have had a great run on 1 lap.
Here we are,
past Matty. Steve's got a load of grip on the inside. He was getting a lot of grip, and obviously he's drove there and gone straight past the corner and taken Matty out. I mean, I can understand the referee's decision, but, you know, I think there possibly should have been a rerun of the race. I mean, 4 laps hadn't been completed. I know a race can be declared after 3, but, you know, we're still racing. I've still got half a chance of catching him.
Half a chance, I'd say.
That's enough. That's all I need, mate.
But, you know, like, the referee was in a tough spot there. You know, like, he saw Steve run out, and, like, Matty's obviously ridden up on that big berm on the outside.
That's fair enough.
And he's called a decision as he saw it there and then.
Obviously, Steve was getting a lot of grip on the inside, and that's why he got past Matty, so there's no reason that I could have done it. I couldn't get on the line because Steve was there, but...
No, but, you know, like, Steve did lose it in the middle of the corner. You know, he did run Matty right out to the fence.
Yeah, he did.
I think if you'd put yourself in Matty Furrion's position...
I would have wanted a rerun.
Yeah. Even though you got the paid 5-1. But you know, right now here, you know, Matty Furrion's very lucky to stay on his bike.
Yeah, he was lucky, and Steve did go out. I mean, I can understand the referee's decision, but I would have been happy with a rerun.
Okay.
We don't know who's going to be in this last heat, but do you want to be in it?
I'm a bit fired up. It might do me good, I think. I don't know.
I should say so. No, if I was picking it, I'd be picking Shane.
Top riders racing for Ipswich. The lineup: Lee Adams, the guest, goes from the Lee Adams, the captain, goes for Kings Lynn from the inside. Thomas Gollob, gate 2 for Ipswich. The guest, Jason Lance, gate 3 for Kings Lynn. On the outside, Chris Louis. Sponsored tonight by J&K Glass and Glazing. I think nothing's been transparent here. They must have thoroughly enjoyed backing such a great meeting. And now, this is heat 15. Nervous at the start. Away goes our starting marshal. Takes it away they go. And Thomas Gollob in yellow gets there first. Chris Louis goes round the outside. Look at the battle between Louis and Jason Lyons. Louis squeezed into the fence. Lyons comes through. And now Louis got to do it all again. But Gollob is out front. And there's going to be some team riding here from the Kings Lynn pair to keep it for them.
Yeah, that good bit of hard riding there from Jason Lyons. Certainly stopped Chris Louis' challenge. And Chris now has gone right to the back. So it's looking as though that's probably saved Kings Lynn's bacon here.
Well, Kings Lynn will win it with this because Thomas Gollob is sailing away up front. But Chris Louis squeezed out, as Peter said, by man of the moment. A triumph for him as a guest rider here tonight. Jason Lyons with a lap and a quarter to go. The meeting is going the way of Kings Lynn Knights. Thomas Gollob may be the man who's going to win this and win it by some margin. But the 2 men in 2nd and 3rd place. The wheelie from Thomas Gollob, but that's not enough to celebrate victory for his team. Thomas Gollob takes the checkered flag. But in 2nd and 3rd place, Jason Lyons and Lee Adams, the Australian pair from Mildura, earns a share of the points for that heat at 3-all. It's Kings Lynn 47, Ipswich 43, the final score. It could hardly be closer. 6 times they bet this season, and 6 times it's been less than 8 points. Kings Lynn have won the handshakes all round. Thomas Gollob won the heat, but the glory belongs to the Kings Lynn Knights. Peter Collins, what a race.